Imagine this. You're standing on the edge of a vast, endless desert. The wind howls, the sun scorches your skin, and every direction looks the same: no path, no signs, no way out. That's how life feels sometimes, doesn't it? Like we're lost in the middle of an invisible storm, trying to find a way to raise ourselves out of pain, confusion, or darkness. But what if I told you that the key to instantly raising your vibration, even in the hardest moments, isn't hidden in some distant temple or buried in ancient scriptures? What if it's right here, right now, within you? Take a deep breath, right now. Do it. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale. That wasn't just air moving through your lungs, it was energy, life force. And the very first secret to changing your vibration is understanding that energy is not something outside of you. You are energy. You are vibration itself. The only reason we ever feel stuck, low, or lost is because we've forgotten how much power we actually hold. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. When was it? Was it when you were laughing so hard that you forgot all your worries? Was it when you stood by the ocean, hearing the waves crash, feeling something so much bigger than yourself? Or was it in the quiet moments, when everything just suddenly made sense? That feeling, that aliveness, is your natural state. It's not something you have to create. It's something you return to.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
But here's the problem. Most of us are drowning in noise. The noise of our own thoughts, the noise of the world, the noise of expectations, failures, fears. And that noise, it lowers our vibration. It keeps us trapped in cycles of stress, doubt, and negativity. So how do we break out? How do we raise our frequency in the middle of chaos? The answer is counterintuitive. We stop fighting. We stop resisting. We stop trying to force things to be different than they are. Because the very act of resistance lowers our vibration. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to push away negative thoughts, the stronger they get? The more you try to force happiness, the more distant it feels. That's because energy flows where attention goes. If we focus on what's wrong, we feed it. If we focus on what's missing, we expand the feeling of lack. But if we shift, if we surrender to the present moment, if we allow life to be exactly as it is without judgment, our vibration naturally rises. Let's try something radical right now. Whatever you're feeling, whether it's stress, sadness, frustration, don't push it away. Instead, welcome it. Say to yourself, I see you. I accept you. This simple act of acknowledgement is like unlocking a door that's been shut for years. The moment we stop fighting our emotions, they stop controlling us. And in that space, something incredible happens. We rise. But let's go deeper, because raising your vibration isn't just about letting go, it's about tuning in. Imagine you're a radio. Right now, your frequency might be tuned to a station filled with static doubt, worry, heaviness. But what if you could turn the dial? What if, with one small shift, you could tune into a frequency of peace, joy, and clarity? One of the fastest ways to do this is through gratitude. And I know gratitude sounds like an overused cliche. But here's the truth. Gratitude isn't just about listing things you're thankful for. It's a frequency, a state of being, and it has the power to instantly shift your energy. Try this right now. Think of one thing, just one, that brings you even the smallest amount of joy. It could be the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of a song that moves you, The simple fact that right now in this moment you are alive. You feel that gratitude. Let it expand inside you. Do you feel the shift? That's your vibration rising. Now, let's talk about something truly profound, your thoughts. Because your mind is either your greatest ally or your biggest enemy. And most people, they're trapped in their own mental prison. Have you ever noticed how one negative thought can spiral into 100 more? That's because thoughts are like magnets. They attract more of the same frequency. And if you're not conscious of them, they will control you. But here's the secret. You are not your thoughts. Let that sink in. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the awareness behind them. And the moment you realize this, you take back your power. The next time a negative thought arises, don't fight it. Don't believe it. Just witness it. See it for what it is, just a passing cloud in the sky of your consciousness. And just like clouds, thoughts come and go. They have no power unless you give it to them. But what about when life truly tests us? When we're in the depths of heartbreak, failure, or loss? How do we raise our vibration when everything feels like it's falling apart? The answer is something most people overlook: presence. Because no matter how painful life gets, suffering only exists in one place: our mind's projection of the past or future. But in the present moment, right here, right now, there is peace. Always. Try this. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen not just to the sounds around you, but to the silence beneath them. Feel not just your body, but the space within it. This space, this deep, infinite stillness is always here. It's who you are beneath all the noise. And when you connect with it, your vibration naturally rises. Because you're no longer lost in the illusion of fear. You're rooted in something far greater. But here's the deepest question of all. Who are you really? Beyond your name, your thoughts, your struggles, who is the I that is aware of all this? Because the moment you truly ask this question, not just intellectually, but deeply, you begin to wake up. And when you wake up, your vibration doesn't just rise, it transcends. Because you realize, at the core of your being, that you were never broken, never lost, never separate from the energy you've been seeking. The truth is, raising your vibration isn't about adding anything to yourself, but it's about removing what was never you to begin with. The fears, the doubts, the limitations, they were never real. They were just layers covering your true essence. And as those layers fall away, what remains? Pure, radiant energy, light, love, the highest vibration of all. But the journey doesn't end here, because understanding this is one thing, living it is another. And in the next part, we're going even deeper. We're going to unlock the hidden forces within you, the ones that most people never access. Because the greatest secret to raising your vibration, it's not just about feeling better, that it's about becoming something greater than you ever imagined. Now that we've uncovered the truth about energy, vibration, and the power of presence, we need to ask ourselves a crucial question. But if we have the ability to shift our frequency at any moment, why do we keep falling back into old patterns? Why do we get pulled back into negativity, self-doubt, and fear, even after experiencing glimpses of higher consciousness? The answer lies in conditioning. From the moment we are born, we are programmed by society, by our families, by the world around us to believe in limitations. We are taught to base our vibration on external circumstances. If things go well, we feel happy. If things go wrong, we feel low. But what if that entire way of living is an illusion? What if true mastery is about learning to hold a high vibration regardless of what's happening around us? Think about the most powerful individuals in history, the spiritual masters, the visionaries, the enlightened beings. Did they wait for the world to change before they raised their vibration? No, they became the change. They stood in the middle of chaos, in the face of suffering, and radiated peace. How? By realizing that nothing outside of them had the power to dictate their internal state. Now, I want you to imagine something. You are standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, everything around you is shaking. But instead of being thrown around by the storm, you close your eyes and you realize that deep within you, there is a stillness that no storm can touch. And that stillness, it's always there. It's who you are beneath all the noise. But accessing this state requires something radical. It requires us to let go of the addiction to suffering. Yes, you heard that right. Most people are addicted to their pain without realizing it. We replay old wounds. We cling to negative emotions. We identify with our struggles so deeply that we don't know who we'd be without them. But here's something to consider. Who are you without your suffering? Who are you without your fears, without your doubts, without your past? Because the moment you stop feeding these lower vibrations, they lose power over you. The moment you stop identifying with struggle, you step into freedom. But this isn't about bypassing pain. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's about transmuting pain into power. Because every time you've suffered, every time you've struggled, life wasn't punishing you, it was awakening you. It was showing you the places where you were still holding on to illusions, where you were still believing in limitations. And the moment you recognize this, something shifts. You realize that every challenge, every heartbreak, every moment of darkness was never meant to break you, it was meant to break you open. And this brings us to one of the most important spiritual truths of all. The energy you send out into the world is the energy you receive. You've heard this before, but have you felt it? Have you tested it? Because the universe is not responding to what you say you want, it's responding to what you are. Look at your life right now. Every experience, every relationship, every opportunity or obstacle, it's all a reflection of your inner state. If there's chaos outside, there's chaos inside. If there's lack outside, there's lack inside. And if you want to change your external reality, you must first change your internal vibration. So how do we do this? How do we shift into a state where we are radiating the energy we want to receive? It starts with a simple but powerful practice, becoming conscious of what we consume, not just physically, but energetically. Because everything is energy. The food you eat, the music you listen to, the conversations you engage in, the thoughts you entertain, all of it is shaping your frequency. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how you feel after watching the news for too long? Or after spending time with someone who only complains? Your energy drops. You feel heavier. That's because energy is contagious. And if you are not conscious of what you absorb, you will unconsciously lower your vibration. So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, become hyper-aware of what you're feeding your energy. Pay attention to how you feel after every interaction, every piece of content, every thought that enters your mind. If something lowers your vibration, step away from it. If something lifts your energy, lean into it. This one practice alone can shift your entire life. But let's take this even further. Because raising your vibration is not just about avoiding negativity, it's about actively generating high-frequency energy. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is through movement. Because here's something most people don't realize: stagnant energy creates a stagnant life. If you are feeling stuck, low, or drained, your energy is not flowing properly. And the fastest way to shift this is to move. Not just physically, but energetically. Try this right now. Stand up. Shake your body. Breathe deeply. Stretch. Dance if you want to. Do something to physically shift the energy within you. Because motion creates emotion. And the moment you change your physical state, your vibration follows. But movement isn't just about the body, it's about taking action in life. Because low vibration thrives in inaction, in overthinking, in waiting. And the fastest way to break out of a low state is to do something. Anything. Even the smallest step forward creates momentum. Now, let's go even deeper. Because raising your vibration is not just about what you do, it's about how you think. And this brings us to one of the most powerful shifts of all, moving from a mindset of lack to a mindset of abundance. Because here's the truth: most people operate from scarcity without realizing it. They focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what they don't have. And by doing this, they create more lack. But what if, instead, you started acting as if you already had everything you needed? What if you started embodying the energy of abundance before it showed up in your life? This is not about pretending, it's about alignment. Because when you vibrate at the frequency of already having, the universe has no choice but to reflect that reality back to you. So here's something radical to try. For the next 24 hours, act as if you are already the most abundant, joyful, peaceful version of yourself. Walk differently, speak differently, think differently, and watch how reality begins to shift around you. But here's the greatest realization of all: you are not here to chase a high vibration, you are here to be it. Because the highest frequency in the universe is not something you reach, it's something you are. And in the next part, we're going to unlock the final key. The one thing that will allow you to not just raise your vibration temporarily, but to sustain it, to live in a state of high-frequency energy, no matter what happens around you. Because the ultimate secret, it's not just about feeling better, it's about becoming unstoppable. Now, we arrive at the final key, the secret that most people never fully grasp. Because raising your vibration isn't just about reaching a higher state, it's about staying there. It's about living in that frequency, no matter what life throws at you. This is where most people struggle. They have moments of clarity, moments of peace, moments of high vibration, but then something happens. A challenge, a setback, a wave of doubt, and they fall back into their old patterns. Why? Because they haven't yet mastered energetic stability. Think of it like this. Imagine you're learning to walk a tightrope. At first, every little movement shakes you. You wobble, you lose balance, you fall. But the more you practice, the steadier you become. Eventually, you reach a point where no matter what happens around you, wind, noise, distractions, you remain steady. That's what we're aiming for, energetic mastery. And the first step to this mastery is understanding detachment. Most people's vibrations are controlled by external circumstances. If life is going well, they feel good. If life is difficult, they feel low. But true mastery comes when you realize that nothing outside of you has the power to dictate your inner state unless you let it. So here's a radical practice. Every time something happens that would normally lower your vibration, pause. Take a breath. And instead of reacting, ask yourself, does this situation actually have power over me, or am I the one giving it power? Because the moment you realize that every emotional reaction is a choice, you take back control. But detachment doesn't mean numbness. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending things don't affect you. It means learning how to experience emotions without becoming trapped in them. Imagine your emotions as waves in the ocean. Most people get caught in the waves, tossed around by them. But you are the ocean itself. The waves rise and fall, but you remain vast, deep, unshaken. But let's go deeper, because beyond detachment, there's something even more powerful: alignment. Because here's the truth: when you are truly aligned with your highest self, staying in a high vibration becomes effortless. It's not something you have to force, it's simply who you are. So the real question is, are you living in alignment with your truth? Or are there areas of your life where you are betraying yourself? Because nothing lowers your vibration faster than living out of alignment. When you stay in a job that drains you, a relationship that limits you, a mindset that keeps you small, you create internal resistance. And that resistance pulls your energy down. So here's something to ask yourself right now: where in my life am I out of alignment? Where am I settling? Where am I ignoring the truth that my soul already knows? Because the moment you get honest with yourself, and the moment you start making choices that align with your highest truth, your vibration naturally rises. But here's where most people get stuck: fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of letting go of what no longer serves them. But here's something most people don't realize: fear is not a stop sign, it's a doorway. And on the other side of that doorway is the version of yourself you've been waiting to become. So let's talk about trust. Because one of the biggest reasons people struggle to maintain a high vibration is because they don't fully trust life. They cling, they control, they resist. But the highest vibration, the frequency of peace, joy, and freedom, can only exist when there is trust. Think of the sun. It never doubts whether it will rise. It never questions whether it will shine. It simply does. That's what trust looks like. Knowing deep in your soul that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. That even the challenges, even the struggles, are part of your evolution. So here's something powerful: surrender. Whatever you're holding on to, whatever fear, whatever doubt, let it go. Not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing to trust. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust that the universe is working in your favor. Trust that you are supported, guided, and never alone. And here's the final key, the ultimate practice that will allow you to maintain a high vibration no matter what: service. Because the highest frequency in the universe, it's love. Not the kind of love that's dependent on conditions, but the kind of love that simply is. The kind of love that radiates from you, not because of what you get in return, but because it's your natural state. Every time you feel low, every time you feel stuck, ask yourself, how can I give? How can I uplift someone else? How can I bring light to the world? Because when you shift from focusing on yourself to focusing on giving, something incredible happens: your vibration skyrockets. And that's the secret. The highest vibration isn't something you chase. It's something you embody. It's who you are when you let go of fear, when you align with your truth, when you trust, when you give, So now, the question is, will you choose to live in this vibration? Not just for a moment, not just when things are easy, but every day, in every moment, no matter what. Because the truth is, you are not here to seek a high vibration, you are here to become it. And when you do, you don't just change your own life, you change the world.